Hey everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. You're in my corner and I have a very special guest in the corner with me today. Would you like to introduce yourself to all the listeners out there?
Hello, my name is Trina Nishimura.
And it's very awesome to have you on the show. Are you still driving? Should we be worried about that, or are you finally settled?
No, I'm totally home. I'm very excited to be on the show. I met Chris at Anime Boston this year, and I've been looking forward to it for a bit. And unfortunately, my schedule has been a little hectic lately, so I haven't been able to be on yet. But I'm really glad that it finally worked out, and I'm safely home, not driving. I am home, ready, and really excited. Most people are technologically advanced and have all of their stuff on their phones and such. I have alarms set on my phone for when I'm supposed to be somewhere, like days in advance, and I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So like, and then like I have countdowns, like I change them and I have countdowns to where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. Most of those alarms and things get set by other people, as I am silly retarded as far as phones and my iPhone and everything go. But I'm working on it.
I do the same thing for conventions. I put it in my calendar and it always notifies me like 15 to 20 minutes beforehand where I have to be. So
Right?
I can't be without it now, though. It's kind of sad.
I feel really like at conventions they give you, or they assign somebody to you, like a liaison or whatever. I always feel so badly for my liaison because I forget things all the time and where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing. And there was, I guess, at Anime Boston at closing ceremonies, like I had like a 45-minute window in between to like grab something to eat and like go to my room and fix my hair and then like go down to the big closing ceremonies. And this is totally like ridiculous, but I was up in my, like I grabbed a sandwich and I went up to my room and I ate my sandwich and I fixed my hair and I had like a lot of time left, so I was like, oh well, I wonder what's on TV. And so I sat down and I started watching Chicken Little. And my phone was on silent, and I was watching Chicken Little, and it was like at the big climactic end, and I was like, I love this song. It's the REM song. I was like, wow, I wonder what time it is. And I had to be there like right then, and my liaison like right at that moment started like pounding on my door, and I was like, oh my gosh, and we like ran the entire way. And I barely made it on stage in time. It was kind of embarrassing. Brina gave me heck about it, but it was funny in the end, I guess.
Well,
It was an
it's
entrance.
it's a nice, memorable thing you can keep with you. How you made a poor liaison suffer. No, I'm kidding.
I love her too. She's awesome. Her name's Janae. She's one of my very first fans that I ever met in person, and she's a sweetheart. She was such a doll to me, and the staff at Anime Boston and the whole experience of Anime Boston was amazing, and it's been one of my all-time favorite conventions to attend, and I definitely want to go back as either a guest or just to go. I mean, it's such a great convention, and I highly recommend it.
Well, I know that a few of our staff members were there, and I know they had some really cool musical guests and obviously some awesome voice acting guests. So hopefully we see you next year.
Hopefully.
Now, obviously, getting a little bit back, way back in the time machine to when you were in diapers and maybe playing with Barbies and everything. Could you tell us how you got interested in acting or cartoons? Like what sparked that?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess like, and people tell me this, like my family loves to tell this story to my significant others. It's one of their favorite stories to tell. But at family gatherings and stuff like that, like in holidays, after we ate dinner, I would put on little shows. Like it was my favorite thing to do, is to put on little shows and sing little songs and stand on the fireplace mantle thing and do little dances and do little sketches and things like that. And then somebody asked me this the other day, and I was like, there must have been some point where I was like, I was in dance my whole life, and I've been in theater since I was really young, and I've always loved the movies, and I've always loved cartoons, and I've always loved the the way that everyone can relate to this piece of art that somebody else has made and be taken away into this world that other people have created, and that's always been a huge deal for me. But like a million bajillion years ago, I was watching the Disney Channel, and it was this may date me a little, but it was I'm fine with that. It was this Lady and the Tramp, like behind the scenes sort of thing, and
Aw.
there was, yeah, you remember that show? It was such a good cartoon. But there was this woman who voiced the Siamese cats, and she sang the "We Are Siamese, If You Please" song, and she had these. She like it showed her in the booth with her headphones on, and it showed her like getting into character. And I remember vividly, like she had these like little nail extensions that she'd put on her fingers to get into character, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever that she could put on these nails, and like then she was cats and she could sing like these cat songs, and I loved it, and I thought it was just the coolest thing. And I guess like spending your entire life like wanting to make people laugh or wanting to make people smile or really just wanting the attention of it all, like it was always a big thing for me. And so I guess from a really, really early age, I've always loved being in the spotlight, and I've always really enjoyed making people laugh and cry and smile and feel warm fuzzies. So my mom, and my grandfather have been amazing supporters of me my entire life. And at one point, I guess after I graduated from college and I was going to be a big kid and get a big kid job, and I'd been voice acting for a couple of years at that point, my grandfather pulled me aside in his office after dinner and was like, you know, is this something that you want to do? And I was like, of course it is. I think this is what I'm supposed to do. And he sweetly told me that I was born to do it and born to entertain people because it's the
Aw.
thing that's made me, I mean, it's the thing that's made me happy my whole life ever since I was a kid. And if there's something like one thing that's made you happy your entire life, you should probably pursue it. So I've just been trying to figure out how to pursue that for a long time. So luckily I was at the right place at the right time and met the right people and had the right voice and found a niche where I fit in and where I feel like I belong. And I'm very lucky in that aspect, and I'm very, very grateful and very blessed to be doing what I'm doing. And I think that if I was an accountant or something, I'd probably be incredibly unhappy, as I'm the worst with numbers, as my bank account would state. But I'm trying to pursue what I feel in my heart of hearts. I've always been supposed to be doing, if that makes sense. So,
It makes perfect sense to me. I mean, the reason I do this is because I love it so much, you know, and the reason the staff put so many hours into doing it is also for the ego. I tell them all the time, you love hearing your own voice, and I love hearing my own voice and people praising me up. I don't, you know, I can't say no to that, but I do it because I have fun with it every single day.
exactly. Like it's one of those things. Like once you find that one thing that you do have so much fun with, and you do love to do, and it's cheesy, like that whole like the whole like work like you don't need money and do something that you love, and if you don't love it, why are you doing, like it is a little cheesy. But I mean, if for centuries people have been saying that, and we're blessed enough and fortunate enough to live in a place and in a time that we can, like, to not take advantage of that, I feel is wrong. So yay, doing stuff you love.
Yay, we're in a fan club together now. No, I'm kidding.
Absolutely.
And now, obviously, being in the right place at the right time, was that, your entrance into Funimation, or was that something else?
That was my entrance into Funimation and voice acting. I was in college, and I was doing what college kids do best, being broke. I was working two jobs, and I had an internship, and I was taking like 18 hours. And, like you're in college, so you're like, awful with money, and you have no idea what you're doing most of the time, and you're trying to pay rent, and you're trying to, buy a new bag if you need a new bag, or if you just want that new Michael Kors, regardless. So I was working a lot, and a friend of mine was a sound engineer, Jimmy Baker, and he's awesome. He's from my same hometown, and so that's how I knew him. But he was a sound engineer at Funimation at the time, And he was like, well, you've been acting a lot your whole life. And at this point I was like, not going to act anymore, and I was going to start, getting ready for law school and start studying for the
Oh.
LSATs. And he was like, why don't you just try this out? I mean, I was like, I don't really act anymore. He's like, well, I mean, you could get a little extra scratch in there and, make some cashola. So I auditioned, I guess about 7 or 8 years ago almost now. I auditioned and for Zach Bolton for Desert Punk. And luckily, I was cast as a very small girl named Namiko, and have been camped out at the Funimation studio ever since. And I've been really fortunate that I've been cast since, and it just kind of started from there. And I've met amazing people. I've met 3 of my best friends in the world at Funimation, and made a lot of other really great friends, and which helps promote the whole loving it thing. And I get to do something that I love, and it just kind of fell into my lap. Like, he was like, well, call this girl, Tara Williams, the talent coordinator. Call her and see if, she'll put you on the audition list, because we're having auditions for the show. And I called and I was like, hey, my name's Trina, and I was just going to see if I could audition. She was like, yeah, we're full. And I was like, oh, well, Jimmy gave me your number, and I was just going to see, and if you have any cancellations, like, would you mind if I came and, like, waited and see if somebody doesn't show up or something? And she's like, oh, well, I guess I could squeeze you in maybe this day. Can you come in this day? I was like, yeah, sure. And so I went in, and I luckily, I luckily got in. Like, now, you can't call at all. Like, that was 8 years ago, like I said. Like, now if you call, you get put on there's like a 3-year waiting list to get cold calls like that. But I went in, and I was like going over the audition sides, and Stephanie Young and Colleen Klinkenbeard and somebody else, I think it was Cynthia Krantz, were all in the waiting room with me, and they're all just like talking and giggling and having like the best time. And I was like, this is somewhere I want to be, like, where people are really, like, it wasn't an audition where everyone was quiet and, like, standoffish. Like, everyone was friends, and it was just really a, like, great environment, and I knew I wanted to be part of it, and so luckily it worked out.
And now dubbing takes a lot of skill. I mean, I hear that all the time, and I wouldn't doubt it at all. So I'm kind of curious, the first time you got a chance to do that, were you nervous? Were you making a lot of mistakes? Was it difficult? What happened?
I was terrified. I went into the sound booth for Namiko, for Desert Punk, and Namiko is, I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but Namiko is this little girl, and it's this tiny, tiny little part, but she shows up at the very beginning of the series and, like, pops up throughout. And the whole thread with her is that she's hungry. She's just this hungry little girl who's cute, and her parents are just trying to feed her all the time. And my very first session, I was terrified that I was going to mess it up, or that, like, they'd find out I was an imposter and I wasn't really into acting anymore. And, like, they would know. They would just know that I was, buying LSAT books and that I was in the wrong place. And so I was really nervous at the time. And my opening, I was booked for, I think, 2 hours, my first session. And my very first session, I was really honest with Zach. I was like, I'm real nervous. And he was like, don't be nervous. Like, this is what this, like, there are certain like, abbreviations that mean things like open mouth reaction and closed mouth reaction and stuff like that. And he explained all of the stuff, all of the abbreviations to me. And then he was like, okay, so now here's a Tootsie Roll Pop, and I'm going to need you to go in there and eat this Tootsie Roll Pop. And I was like, oh.
It's like going to the doctor's office.
Yeah. It was like, it's fine, little girl. You're going to be okay. Don't be nervous. This is what all of the instruments are. Here's a lollipop. Now, why don't you go in there for 30 minutes and eat this lollipop? I was like, oh, all right. And, like, I guess that's how I figured out, like, how to time things up with eating a lollipop, which is kind of weird. But, like, I just spent 30 minutes eating a Tootsie Roll Pop in the sound booth, while Zach and Peter, the sound engineer, who is still his engineer, while Zach and Peter like giggled and talked me through it, and like I'd be like, is this good, or am I eating this right? And he's like, just eat the lollipop, go work it out. And it just kind of fell into place, and it started to make sense. And then I recorded some lines, and by that time, like I was trained eating a lollipop, so that's kind of crazy, I guess. I don't think I've ever told that story. That's random. So yeah, I was trained by eating a Tootsie Roll Pop.
Well, at the same time, maybe that's a good method to make sure that you don't lose your voice. Tootsie Roll Pop.
Right? Just eat this lollipop, you'll be fine. Everything's gonna be okay.
And I think with that, we're going to take a short break here on 91.8 The Fan, but don't go anywhere. Our special guest isn't going anywhere. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see. So keep it tuned to your favorite station where we play everything you want and nothing you don't.
Do you know what's on 918 The Fan? A bunch of our crap.
Good heavens.
You know what's not on 918 The Fan? A bunch of your crap.
Balderdash, I say.
Want your crap on 918 The Fan?
Quite so, good fellow.
Then send your crap titled Fan Friday Submissions to kibs@918thefan.com, and we might just post it up for all the world to see.
What do you have to lose?
Nothing.
Nothing, I say.
Quite so.
Quite right.
Yes, jolly good.
Cheerio.
Pip, I say.
Ah, yes, good sir.
Hey, everybody out there, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan. My special guest is still here, maybe. Would you like to give us a sign of life?
Hi, it's Trina Nishimura. Still here, still alive, still kicking.
That's good. It would be a bad thing if you weren't still alive. Just saying.
And then she tragically died while doing an interview. That would be awful.
It would be our faults. We would be sued so badly. I don't know by who, but somebody.
I think you'd have to worry about my brother more than anything. He'd be like, what happened? What'd you do to her? Khalid Baba.
Well, hopefully we made you laugh so hard, and so it wasn't that bad of a death. No, I'm kidding.
That's fun. That's really awesome.
And now I know I have to ask this because I'm pretty sure my listeners would probably chase after me, with pitchforks if I didn't. But I wanted to get onto the subject of Evangelion. Because
absolutely
everybody loves that show. That show, I think, was one of the first box sets I ever bought at Suncoast way back in the day. Yeah, I feel old now. But that's such a big show, and you're a part of it, and it's reimagining. Could you tell us how that feels like?
Honestly, like at the beginning, it was kind of terrifying. Like more than kind of. It was really scary. It was a really, really scary thing for me. Obviously, Funimation picked up the reimagination of the series, or of the movies of the series. And so Funimation, the company that I primarily work with, didn't have the series, and I think it was at ADV in Houston. And then the movie 1.11 was at Funimation, and Brina Palencia, who is one of the lead characters in the show, when Mike McFarlane directed the first one too, and I remember when she got the role, and she was like, oh hey, like we all auditioned for it, and she got it, and so like we'll all talk, frequently, and it's like, oh hey, did you get that thing? And it's like, oh yeah, I got it, or oh no, I didn't, or so and so did. And when she got it, we were like, oh awesome, but like nobody knew. Like Mike told her, like, this is a huge deal, this is going to be a big deal, but like nobody at Funimation, like none of the voice actors anyways, like that I run with, like we were all like, oh cool, another movie, that's great, it's a big deal, like Evangelion is obviously a huge deal, but like it's like, okay, we're gonna do this, and it'll be hopefully well received. And once she got it, like I know that she was just inundated, and then whenever she was announced as the lead, so whenever we got 2.22, there was only one new girl role, which was Mari. And there were so many people auditioning for this one role, and these are super talented people, like amazing. Like when I went in and looked at the roster of who was auditioning for the 3 days of auditions, I was like, oh, they're going to get it, or they'll get it, or they'll get it, but at least I'll get seen by people for a minute. Maybe we'll go out and get some lunch. And so when I auditioned, I felt like it was a really good audition, but there were so many amazing people that auditioned for the role, and I was really lucky to get it. But because of the response that Brina got and how nervous she was about how it would be received, like I mean, everybody knew at this point, like, this is a huge, huge deal. And so when I got it, I was like, oh, this is great. And then, like, it all kind of sunk in, you know, like, the expectations and
dun 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 dun.
Yeah, like, it was really terrifying. I called my brother and I was like, oh my God, because my brother has been an anime fan like our whole lives. And so I called him and I was like, brother, I got Evangelion. He's like, you what? I was like, I got the second movie. He's like, who are you? I was like, I'm Mari. And he was like, oh wow, that's a lot. I was like, I know, I'm really freaking out here. And my brother, God bless him, is like the coolest, like calmest person in the universe, and is one of the only people in the universe that can like stop my psychoness when I lose it like that. It's like, what if they don't like me? And what if they don't like me? And I'm gonna start going to conventions now, and they're gonna throw rocks at me, Seth. They're gonna throw rocks. And he was like, nobody's gonna throw rocks. No one's gonna throw rocks at you. I was like, what if they do? What if they hate it? What if? And like I go into this massive like tailspin about like, you know, after, I mean, this is even before I started recording, like if I don't do it well enough, or if, you know, and he's like, well, then you should just turn the role down. I was like, are you on drugs? He was like, well, then why are you freaking out? Like, calm down. You're going to be fine. Like, the director chose you for a reason. And I was like, okay, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And then I honestly, like, during the performance and the recording, like, I'm very, very proud of the work that I did. And I really, like, gave a lot to it. And I'm not trying to, like, be like, oh, I'm amazing, but, like, I worked really hard on that role. And I'm really, really proud of what came out of it. And so there's, I guess, like, the opening scene where she fights the angel that has been, like, taken down to bones and everything, and there's that big scream and everything. After we had finally finished recording it, it actually took a little longer to record it because of the big scream at the end. Like, I totally blew my voice out.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, it was real bad. I couldn't talk for like a week. Well, I could, but it didn't sound anything like me. But after Mike McFarlane, like, after we finished that entire scene, he played it back for me, like, from the beginning, where, like, she's breathing in her, I don't know which unit it is, but she's breathing in the Ava and, like, in the green suit, and then, like, the whole fight scene until the title. After, like, he showed it to me, and I was like, you know, this is the best I could have done. And, like, I was really, really comfortable knowing, like, that is the best performance that I could have done, and I gave it everything I could. And luckily Mike was there, and, you know, he totally made it all happen. And knowing that I did everything I could and did my best, it was kind of one of those things, like, I gave it my all, and hopefully people will like it, and maybe they won't. And, like, I guess after I'd finally done it, I called my brother again, and I was like, okay, I finished the show. And he's like, well, how do you feel about it? I was like, you know, I really tried. And he's like, well, you know, that's the best you can do, and you did the best you can do, and people will like it or they won't. He's like, but I'll still like it. I was like, oh, you know, start crying because he's my brother. And so it was really great. And then I guess my sisters aren't really as into anime as my brother and I are, but they're both, like, super supportive, and they were like, well, you know, like, I heard Seth said you got a movie, and I'm like, yeah, it's this really big deal. And they're like, cool. So are we going to watch it? I was like, yeah, we can watch it. Like, we can all watch it together. And they're like, awesome. So when are we doing that? Because at Christmas, and then they get sidetracked. But, like, I'm really lucky to have a bunch of, and, like, Brina obviously was super supportive the whole time. And Jamie Markey has been an amazing friend. And every time I start to think, like, you know, it's not going to be good enough, she talks me off the ledge. So, and Tara Williams is awesome too. So, like, it was all, like, really, like, if I didn't have that support system in place, then I would be a nervous wreck about it all the time and constantly wondering if people like it or not. But I think it's been pretty well received, and so I'm pretty happy with how it worked out. It was awful at first, and it's gotten much better. So that's my answer. It was awful at first. It's gotten much better. So I'm just glad people like it.
Well, on the plus side, that character, from what I understand, wasn't in any other iteration of Evangelion. So, you didn't have to like look at somebody else's performances and think, oh, I have to be just like that.
Yeah. No, that was definitely, well, I mean, the woman that voices it in Japan
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. She's like, basically, she was explained to me as like the Britney Spears of Japan. And so I was like, oh, good. I'm going to follow that. That's awesome. Thank you, Mike. And he's like, I wouldn't have picked you if you can't do it. And I was like, okay, I can totally do that. So, I mean, there was that. There was a little pressure on prior performances, as there always is in dubbing. But I think after I got through the song, like once the song was out of the way, it got a lot easier and a lot better. So I'm really, really lucky, and I really love the character. I think she's awesome and just an amazing, like, hardcore, like, chick in general, which is cool to play hardcore chicks in general. So I love her, and I love the character. I love the show. I'm a huge proponent of the movies and the show, and so I think it's really neat that there's such a great fan base out there that want to see, a second, like a reimagining, like you said. Like, I think that's really neat, and I'm glad people like it. I'm glad people buy it, and I'm glad that keeps me working.
The last part is very important, I know. But now I'm curious. You said you got to see fan reaction just a little bit. Did you see any at conventions? Have people come up to you and told you, how awesome you did in the role or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I did. Initially, like, I got a lot of like, hey, congratulations, we heard you got the role, when it was announced, and I got a lot of that initially, and then this is totally like crazy because it doesn't happen that often. But then I did get a little bit of a backlash, like like some Facebook stuff that was like less than supportive, and I met up. I think it was Jamie. Yeah, I met up with Jamie, and I was like, oh my God, like, I'm getting hate mail. And I think, no, Brina and Jamie were there. And Brina was like, you made it. I was like, what? She's like, once you start getting hate mail, it's good news. I was like, oh, okay. So I got a few less than flattering letters via Facebook and my email. But after the movie was officially released and people could see it in theaters and then people could see it at home, like by the Blu-ray or the DVD, like once it was officially released, I've gotten nothing but positive feedback, and it's really gratifying. Like, it's not just having my ego stroked, but just like having people say like, hey, like, I recognize that you worked really hard on that, and like, that was awesome, and I really liked it. Like, that's always nice to hear that people appreciate your work, whether it's like, flipping burgers at McDonald's or Burger King, like, hey, we appreciate this burger, it's delicious.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
I keep talking about food. But, like, it's always nice to be told you're doing a good job. So tell somebody today you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job, Pumpkinhead.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Now,
So, yeah.
now I got a sort of a quiz time, and it's not a very hard quiz, but I'm curious, are there any projects that you can talk about, not the ones where you're signed under NDA, that you can tell the fans about, anything that's recently come out or that's upcoming?
Yeah, the Trigun Badlands movie is coming out, and I'm once again am attached to like this ridiculous movie that has an amazing series that I wasn't any part of, but now I'm in the movie. Trigun is coming out, or no, it's come out. Has it come out? I can't remember. Trigun Badlands, the movie, is out, and it's I play Millie. And she's hilarious and like great and like the coolest, one of my favorite characters to date. She's super, super fun. So Trigun Badlands Rumble, I play Millie Thompson, and that movie is going to be really fun. Zach Bolton, the man that first cast me, directed that movie as well, and so he's really great and an amazing director. And I really like the movie. I really like the series. It's like one of those like that you kind of came up on when you were a kid. Like I remember my brother watching it. You know?
Oh no, I know. I know because I think Vash was actually when I was, finally really tackling anime. Vash was like my first like anime crush, I guess you could say.
Oh,
So I still have like my Vash plushie from like all the way back then.
that's awesome. That is so cool.
So I remember that
Oh,
series way too much. I really need to see the movie and see, just what happens in it and see if Vash is equally as funny and the two insurance girls, Millie and now I can't remember Meryl, Millie and Meryl, if they're as
yeah.
equally funny as sort of the stressful comic relief, I guess you could call them that.
Yeah, like I went in. I guess it was just because it was because I was Millie. She doesn't really scream a lot or do anything too intense. Like it was a really short recording time for me, but I really like her as a character. I think she's hilarious and just real like fun. She's just a fun character to play.
Now, is there any places on the internet where people can stalk you in a nice way of upcoming projects or where, where you give them updates like on Facebook or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a Facebook page. I am actually the only Trina Nishimura in the continental United States. Apparently, there is another one in Hawaii who is a teacher, but I am officially the only just Trina Nishimura. There are Katrinas, but I'm the only Trina. So Trina Nishimura on Facebook. I also have this amazing fan, Chris, who started me a fan page. It's called the Fabulous Trina Nishimura fan page. That's also on Facebook. Jamie's been trying to get me on Twitter for a while, so I'm thinking about twittering, but I feel like it's a big commitment, and I'm not quite ready. Maybe I am. I don't know. It takes me like months to buy a new bag, let alone like commit to a Twitter page. Facebook is my number one site that I'm frequently on. Like I check it every day. I love hearing what people have to say, and it's a great way to get immediate feedback, from what people think and what they think about good and bad, either way. About somebody's beeping in. I'm popular. About it's a nice way to figure out or hear what people think. And I love seeing fan pictures, and I love fan art. I think it's awesome. I'm really flattered to be on the receiving end, and I think that Facebook and social networking in general is a great thing. Like you can actually connect with these people that like back in the day, like if you wanted to meet the guy that voiced Mickey Mouse, like you wrote him a letter and that was it. You never got anything back, but it's a great way to get in touch or to hear about what's going on with me or cartoons and me, or hear about what I had for lunch. Frequently it's tacos or nachos. I'm a big fan. I don't know. I don't think I ate lunch. I didn't eat lunch. That's what it is.
Oh, that's why we're both hungry. If it makes you feel better, I haven't either, so.
Oh no. It's crazy. We should eat more.
Well,
now all I want is nachos.
for those hardcore stalkers out there, are there any conventions coming up that you want to tell the fans about so they can hide in the bushes? Hopefully they meet you eventually, during the autograph session, but.
Right. Well, there's no need to hide in the bushes. I'm very skittish, so please don't hide in the bushes. But I'll be in Monterey this upcoming weekend. It's crazy because Comic-Con is going on, and there's this brand new Monterey convention, Anime Icon, and there's another one in the works for early August. It's not 100% official yet, so I'm hesitant to announce it because I would be like, oh, I'm going to be there, and then everyone's like, oh my God, she's going to be there, and they'd be like, oh no, she's not. But I'm pretty sure I will be somewhere in the Northern Territories, not in America. I guess up in Canada, where they do not call their dollars loonies. Fool me once. Anyways, so pretty sure up in Canada in early August, but we shall see. I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure it's all going to work out. But I'm hesitant to announce it. But if you check out my Facebook page, then I will make sure that you are completely up to date with the fabulous Canada convention that I will hopefully be attending. And if you are in the Monterey area this weekend, then I will be there too. And I'm really excited about it. I haven't been to California in a while, and it's actually where I was born, although I'm Texan through and through. Like I would bleed Texas if I could. But I will be in California this weekend. Jamie Markey and Christopher Kaysen will be joining me at Anime Icon. It's going to be awesome. It's the first time convention, like I said, and I guess it's like in this convention area. Like frequently at conventions, there are other conventions going on. Like when Colleen Klinkenbeard and Jamie and I went to Orlando, I think that was Fan Expo, or maybe that was Fan Expo's in Canada too. We were MegaCon. We were at MegaCon, and there was like also a cheerleading competition going on, like a cheerleading convention, and then I think there was something else. But like you walked around this massive convention center, and you'd like see like anime fans, and then you'd see businessmen, and then you'd see like little tiny cheerleaders. It was crazy. But at Monterey, during the same time, there's going to be like a rodeo convention. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's going to be a little rodeo, a little anime. Worlds will collide. I don't know if the universe can handle it, but I'm excited. So I'm going to bring my cowboy boots. Everyone else should too. It'll be fun. So, Anime Icon this weekend, and then early August. Stay tuned, and I will let you know for sure the minute I know.
I actually just went to California for Anime Expo and AM Squared, and I went to Disneyland, and I'm still peeling from sunburns. But it was worth it. So worth it.
Exfoliate. Lots of exfoliation. Don't pick, just exfoliate. Use your loofah. Get some scrub, some sugar scrub. If you don't have sugar scrub, you can make some. So, just saying, a little bit of Vaseline and lots of sugar. Scrub that stuff right off. It'll be fine.
That's better advice than my mom gave me. She was just like, "Oh, well, you're still peeling. Well, sorry."
Oh, no. Okay. So, add some salts, right? Great for your muscles. Also great for exfoliating the skin. So take a warm bath, not a hot bath, a warm bath with Epsom salt. And then while you're in the tub, you can use that sugar scrub with lots of sugar. And then, or you can just get a loofah, like a real good loofah, and scrub away. Do that for about 2 days, like once a night. You'll be fine.
Totally turned into an episode of like Dr. Nishimura.
I don't know about doctors, but I can tell you about sunburns. I grew up in West Texas, so like in the desert. So I've had my fair share of sunburns. I've officially stopped tanning in my life. It's an era that has passed. But I used to love just going to the pool every day. My siblings and I literally went to the pool every day in the summer and swam, and by the end of the summer, we were all brown. But there was that initial sunburn, the beginning of the summer sunburn. Oh, that's the worst, where you peel and it hurts.
Oh.
I'm so sorry I'm so sorry. Those are the worst. Oh, the initial sunburns. But I'm telling you, add some salt, loofah, exfoliate, don't pick, and lots of aloe. You'll be fine.
I will try that. I do have Epsom salt. I will definitely try that. That's better advice. The best advice I've gotten so far, because nobody on staff can help me, despite I'm not the only one who lives in Vegas. Thanks, guys. No, I'm kidding. But since we've gotten completely off topic, it's actually we're kind of running out of time, which is sad. I'm sad about this.
Oh, me too.
I know.
I'm the worst about going off on tangents. I just tangents away until somebody stops me. And they're like, "Oh, right. What are we doing? What are we doing?" Like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be. My phone's not going off. Do I have a liaison? Oh, this is real life. I don't know where I am. Yeah.
Well, it made it fun, and
Right.
before, not at all, and before, we leave each other and, say our sorrowful goodbyes, would you be willing to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition?
Did I leave?
Nope, I'm still here.
Oh.
Oh.
I think I lost you.
Oh, I'm still here. I'm here.
There you are. I was so sad. I was like, this is awful. You just really didn't want to hear my tangent at all.
No, I totally love the tangents. I love them a lot. But I was wondering, before we say goodbye, if you'd be willing to participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
Absolutely.
Awesome. We kind of put you on the spot, but we ask if you'd be willing to do a radio bump, and we do the takes live on air.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Basically, we ask if you'd be willing to say, hello, my name is, and, you put your name there. And then you can say, I do this, I'm a voice actress, these are the characters I do. You can mix it up, do whatever you feel comfortable with. The important part is, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Okay. Okay. Well,
You
which
ready?
characters do you want me to? No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Which characters do you want me to talk about? Is there like a particular character I should talk about?
You can do whatever you think is most current or relevant to you. It's completely up to you.
Oh, this makes me really, really nervous. Okay, so I'm
Because
gonna
we don't
say.
have a script.
I need a script. I need to know what I'm supposed to say. Okay, I'm ready. No, wait, I'm not ready. Okay, I think I'm ready. All right, now I'm officially ready. I'm totally ready. Are you ready? I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Whenever you're
Okay,
ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. So, see, now I feel like I'm compelled to say like a radio voice, like a voice that's like, oh, you're on the radio, But okay, I'll give you my best radio announcer voice. How's that?
That's perfect. That'll work fine for us.
Okay. Hi, this is Trina Nishimura. No, that's awful. That's awful. Don't use that one. Don't use that one at all.
Well, you didn't finish it, so we can't use it.
Okay. All right. No, don't use that one at all. Okay, I'll just, Hi, this is Trina Nishimura. I am a voice actress primarily for Funimation. I have voiced such characters as Lon Fan from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Ava Amari from Evangelion 2.22. One of my all-time favorites is Nadia from El Cazador de la Bruja. I've also been in Claymore, and Baka and Test just came out. Let's see, Negama and My Bride is a Mermaid. Then there's Shin-Chan, of course. So I hope you get to check some of my shows out. And you are listening to 95. Oh no.
And you're
okay, I'll just pick it up from there. Can I pick it up from there?
Yeah, you can totally pick it up from there. It's just you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan. The numbers mess everybody up.
And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Yay! See, that wasn't so hard.
I was like, I don't know, is that okay? Okay, great. Good.
You survived. You totally survived.
I made it somehow.
Thank you so much for being on the show. This was a lot of fun, and the listeners definitely loved it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I look forward to chatting again with you sometime.
Oh, that'd be great. And for anybody out there that missed any of this interview, don't fret. It'll be up on the website within the next few days. So keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan, everything you want and nothing you don't.